Just going to play at St. Joe's, a tough place to play. Have a lot of success in Hagan Arena and all that stuff. So we have to have a great mindset to go on the road and find a way to win a game. And we got to put a full 40 minutes together. And our guys know that. We know what we need to do. But now it's we have to find a way to figure it out and do it. So excited to see how we are. Last time we had a true road game, we didn't play well, and the opponent has a lot to do with it. These next two games on the road, start 8-10 on the road play, we got to be ready to go. We got to find a way to win.
Does St. Joe's resemble anything of the St. Joe's teams that fans are probably more familiar with, the DeAndre Bembrys and the teams that VCU always met in the finals and the semifinals up in Brooklyn?
Well, the one thing about Coach Martelli's teams, they're highly skilled. They do a good job of playing well together, and they always have guys that can shoot the basketball. I think this team, he has multiple shooters, high-level shooters. His big guys step out and can really shoot it. They have three big guys that can make threes. So we have to do an unbelievable job of guarding the ball, but also making sure we just don't let them bomb in a bunch of threes. And they have a point guard, Newkirk, who's been around for a while, that can go off and make plays. And he's a guy that makes plays, making baskets, making assists, finding ways to get the ball into the rim, and drawing fouls. So, and they have other guys that are inside-outside players, can really drive it, but they really shoot the ball well. So, a lot like his old teams. They're highly skilled, great basketball IQ, and they can really shoot it.
What kind of preparation has this been like for Jimmy?
We really haven't talked about it. Our whole staff is for St. Joe's every time they play, 'cause Jimmy's dad's the coach, and except for tomorrow, it's just how it goes. You got to play the game. 40-minute game is a lot like Texas. It's a 40-minute game. Let's go win the game, and then we'll cheer from all the other games. I'm sure it's tough, but they've been through it before, and his brother's on the staff now at St. Joe's, Phil Jr. He was at Delaware. I think St. Joe's and Delaware have played before, so they've been through it before. So, if you treat it like another game, it takes that approach, and he'll be fine. He's a big boy.
Coach, you guys, apologies this was asked last week, but you guys went through that gauntlet in your non-conference schedule. Do you feel like that kind of sets you up nicely for conference play and prepared you, so to speak?
Well, yeah. Anytime you play a great out-of-conference schedule, big games early in the year, the number one thing it does, it exposes you. And I say that in a positive way. You learn very quickly. If we played teams that weren't as good as that schedule, we would be finding out now against good teams what we needed to get better at and what's hurting us. I think that occurred very early in the season. And, defensive transition to fixing our press to defending the three ball. We've gotten better at all three of those because we got exposed very early in the season against good teams in those categories. So we've improved in those areas because of that. But it also, my belief is you always want to play teams that could win your conference, out of conference early in the year, so it prepares you for anything. You don't have as many true road games, but it still prepares you because it's great competition, and I think that's very important.
When you had the time to put on the film, what did you see from IB, and how did he feel after going, I think, 10 minutes, or going as many minutes as he did?
He felt good, felt pretty good. He's still doing all his rehabbing and all that stuff, so it's getting a little bit better as we go along. He's a basketball player, so it's sort of like riding a bike. Once you get back on, you get moving, you feel comfortable. I think he felt very comfortable as the game went on, and you saw him make some plays with the ball in his hands. Some nice assists, made a couple of baskets, got to the line, or got to the rim a few times. So, I just think every game will get a little bit better. What I like about him is his defense, his instincts on the defensive end, and he can press. It just gives us another body that can really move the way we want to play, and it's definitely to our advantage. Having him out there playing multiple positions is a strength for our team.
I know St. Joseph's is a team that particularly doesn't turn the ball over a lot, so has that been a focus to try to disrupt them as much as possible?
Yeah, we got to, they're not going to play a lot of guys, so we got to make it really hard for them. They don't turn it over at all. I think they're one of the top 5 in the country, so we got to find a way to turn them over a little bit and maybe speed them up, maybe take some tough shots early in the possession. But we got to do what we do, and you guys have seen it. We've all seen it. There's times where for 4, 5, 8, 12-minute stretches we're pretty darn good. What we got to do is cut out those 2, 3, 4-minute stretches where we're throwing the ball all over the place or losing our men. And if that occurs, we're just getting better and better in the league play, and that's huge for us.
How far do you and Phil Martelli go back? I heard you mention that you went to one of his camps.
Well, he was I'm pretty sure he was an assistant coach at St. Joe's. That was my first overnight basketball camp. My dad drove me to Philly and dropped me off, and coming from Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, it opened my eyes, but it was awesome. I've said it for a long, long time in my life. It was one of the best weeks of my life. I mean, it was a basketball camp, and it was real. And all we did was play basketball about 15 hours each day for a week straight, and it was a lot of fun. I met I met some guys at that camp that when I got to high school, I ended up playing against in the playoffs. It was really neat. But a great experience. So I knew Coach Martelli, met him then, and then I worked out down there in Philly when I was in college a little bit, got to meet him a couple times afterwards, and then just for a long time running into him on the road when I was at Randolph-Macon and all the different camps on the East Coast and all that stuff. His staff, I knew the guys on his staff, and then Jimmy came and worked for me at Randolph-Macon, got to know him even more.
You guys will stay up there to play LaSalle afterwards.
Yep.
You've gone on a couple road trips already, but kind of what can be stuck in hotels and stuck, it's not Maui, but what can this...
No, it's definitely not Maui. Temperature's close, but no, we'll get up there tonight, and we'll go over and shoot at St. Joe's, and then we'll shoot again, have a shoot around tomorrow and play the game tomorrow night, and then Thursday, we'll definitely sleep in and get some rest, but we'll practice sometime Thursday afternoon, and we'll go out to dinner as a team Thursday night. And then Friday, we'll pretty much do the same thing on Friday, probably practice a little bit earlier because our game is an afternoon game on Saturday at LaSalle. Then we'll get back here Saturday. So, look, it's a business trip. There's no sightseeing or any of that stuff. We just let's make sure we get as much rest as we can, and then let's do a really good job of preparing for the game at hand.
Coach, they've got some injuries, obviously. I think you've seen the roster decimated a bit. Charlie Brown may or may not play. It seems like there's some ambiguity there. How do you prepare as if he's going to play, or how do you approach that?
Prepare that he's going to play, just like teams probably did for IV and Malik, without a doubt. So we know who he is. He's a very, very talented player, one of the best players in the league. So we got to be ready for him. Even him at 60, 70, 80% is still a very good player. So we got to be ready for him. But we can't control that. We can control our preparation for that, but we don't know if he's going to be there or not. So no surprises if he's in uniform running layups, ready to play. We'll be ready for that. But it's more. We do the scouting report. We know what they're going to do, but it's more about our approach, that fourth, and take that approach. The biggest thing to me is when you have injuries like that, I don't want our guys looking, down the court. Is he playing? Is he not playing? Hey, if he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, he doesn't. And let's just be ready to go.
Is there something you could go back to in that Seton Hall game, or was it a road game? Was that its own separate entity? Was there something that you're maybe looking for? Now you're going on the road again.
Well, I said mentality. Just when you go on the road and you play a true road game, you got to have the mentality. You got to go get what you want, because it's hard enough to win on the road. So nothing can get in your way. And to me is as much being mentally prepared for whatever happens. And one of our rules we have in our program, part of our culture, is 0% complaining. You go on the road and you don't get a call, or shot doesn't fall, or you get a quick foul or a second foul in the first half. Like, that stuff can't mess your mind up. You got to play with a clear mind, and that's the biggest thing to me is when we have young guys going on the road, a new team. You just find a way. You just find a way. I thought we've always done a good job of that. I take pride in going on the road, and if you want to win, you got to go. You got to go win. There's no special formula, I think, for going on the road. It's your mindset, and for us, we just can't let anything in our mind keep us from our objective is finding a way to win.
You guys try to approach every game the same, I realize, but did you notice kind of a more laser focused like once conference play gets here? Do you notice kind of a increase in intensity?
Yeah, I don't know if it's an increase in intensity. It's just it's that part of the season where everybody sort of has a fresh look. They know, hey, if we do well in conference play, it puts us in a great place for the conference tournament and so on. So around here is, we want to win. We want to win, and we want to come in first, and we want to try to win a championship. So I think that becomes the laser focus at this time. All right, let's go win a championship now, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you need to put yourself out there for that. I love that part of it, and our guys feel that way now. There's no guarantees, but it gives you a focus and a goal, which I think when you have 18 to 20-year-olds and you could get them focused in on goal-oriented stuff, they bring it every day. They bring an attention to detail, laser focus. I think that helps a lot.
What were your biggest takeaways looking at the other games on Saturday in league play?
Well, there's a lot of good teams in the league, but I also think there's some teams in the league that got beaten up for a couple years. They're not going to get beat up anymore. They have new coaches, they have new players, a new culture. I think that just talks about the strength of a basketball league like the A10. There's more parity in the league than ever. You better be ready to play every night. This is how it goes. But I think some teams that maybe got off to a tough start are playing better and scoring the ball better. That's one thing I noticed. And when your team is getting better and better on the offensive end, it gives you a chance, and that's league play.
Are you gonna have any extra family, either Wednesday's game or Saturday's game?
Yeah, too many. Yeah, just it's closer. My a lot of friends from college, my family where I grew up, it's just closer. So a lot of them are trying to find tickets. I got a bunch of tickets. A bunch are on their own to get tickets and figure it out. So they're not afraid of road trips to Philly. It's not too far. Richmond's a little far for some of those guys, but they'll be there. It'll be pretty neat.
Piggybacking off Wayne's previous question kind of about the league, how much do you allow yourself to kind of look at the standings and look at what other people are doing, as opposed to as much time as you spend focusing on what you guys have to do and the opponent right in front of you?
Well, I'm a basketball fan, so I watch all the games as much as I can. If anybody in our league is on TV, I'm going to make sure I can find a way to watch it, or if I can. Every morning I look at all that stuff. I just don't I don't obsess with it. I just never have. Robbie asked me the other day about the RPI. Do you follow the RPI? Yeah, I mean I follow it, but my day is It's not a do or die if I don't see it or not. Some coaches are, and that's assistant coaches. They just did that team win, that team. I look at that stuff, but I've always been like that. Even as a player, I'm a basketball fan, so I read all those articles. I'll look at all the standings all the time. I love that stuff. That's the fan part of me. The league part, the more knowledge you have of other teams and your opponents you have coming up, a little bit more. It helps you scouting wise. But I don't obsess with it. No way, because I have enough trouble falling asleep, and if I keep doing that, I'll never fall asleep.